Hello and welcome to the Scrappy Sisters Scraptember YouTube Hop. Today I am participating in the Grab 5 portion of it, and I have to use on my layout school-themed ephemera, hand journaling, tiny words, primary colors, and banners. And I went, holy moly, that's a lot. I didn't know if I'd be able to manage, but I think I did a pretty good job. I am using a sketch from a Facebook group called #MyScrappyLife that is run by Miranda Weber. She is using this sketch as a challenge for this month. So join her Facebook group. I'll put a link down below. Also, you can join mine, One Mommy Scrapping, and I do live videos every Sunday over in One Mommy Scrapping on the Facebook group, and then I'm also doing them here on YouTube. Thursdays at 8 p.m. and they're 3 p.m. Sundays. I don't think I said the time. Anyway, so let's actually get into this layout. Primary colors, two collections came to mind immediately, both by Shamel. One is Box of Crayons, the other was Field Trip. I decided to go with Field Trip, which I actually think is kind of funny because the first layout I did with this collection was my daughter's 6th grade picture with her locker last year. Now that school just started this past week, so I had been waiting to get this done until I actually had her school photos developed. And I had a lot of fun going through and picking these primary colors. Now I know there are 3 primary colors, red, yellow, blue, but I went with the whole spectrum. I just said, let's just do bright. So I have plenty of red and yellow and blue and also some pink and purple and green and orange. And, you know, because that's how it is. So I wanted to cover up this join. It's not actually in the sketch, but it just bugged me. I didn't like it. The sketch also doesn't have the background paper, but I needed that. That just felt, I don't know, I wanted something to frame it. So I'm putting down this little green strip, which is actually a scrap from something. I think I had done a border punch, and this was the little piece that was left over. And I try to save those things because they come in handy. Now, I'm erasing the adhesive right here. That's what I'm doing. That thin strip was barely a smidge too short for going across, so I just snipped it in the middle and lined it back up with the end because that's going to get covered up by the different banners and the photos in a moment. And you're going to see me do that again with a banner that's going to go in there because it is... I made it too short. I was like, oh, I made it 7 inches. It should have been 8 inches. So I end up not using that triangular paper at all. I really like it, but it made everything feel too focused on the warmer colors. So instead, I am using the specialty paper, which is this really lovely vellum with silver holographic circles. And I adore anything hollow. And as I'm about to mat it, I even have the adhesive on my photo. I was like, wait, the sketch has these circles at the top. And I decided to gut the middle of that paper, and then I'm going to grab a circle punch and cut the vellum made with circles on it into other circles. So these I'm going to be able to then cut in half and use. And I did 3 of them because while the sketch doesn't have anything at the bottom right, that is where I always put my date. And so I like to have something down there if at all possible. And since I've got, you know, so much going else, it's a lot to look at, but there's not as much going on as I usually do. So that's something I was trying to keep in mind. And I moved that, my journaling up so I can see it, so I don't forget about it. Yeah, guess what I do? I still forget about it because it's me. And you'll see in a moment exactly how I forget about it. One thing I've been really enjoying lately is putting my main focal photo up on foam. I'm using this 1-inch foam from scrapbook.com. It is amazing foam. I will never go back to the cheap stuff again that I had been using from Amazon. It is nice, but this stuff, it's awesome. It also comes in 2-inch and 1/4-inch widths, which has been fabulous. So the pictures, let me tell you a little bit about those. They're my daughter at school on the first day of 7th grade because, oh my gosh, how is my little baby in 7th grade? And my school is going back face-to-face this year. I am taking care of our remote learners in upper elementary school, though. So I'm not at school for the first time ever with my daughter, which is really weird. But I decided to drop her off still on the first day, so that way I could still get the pictures in front of the statue out in the beginning, not the beginning of the school, out in front of the school. So I took her picture, and I usually do that large one I do further back, and then I will take a couple steps forward and I'll do a landscape photo where you can see a little more detail. This year in particular, I wanted that little bit more of the detail because I included a photo of her wearing her mask to school. Masks are part of school life right now, and I don't want to ignore that little piece. So I have one close-up without the mask, one close-up with the mask. And it lets you also see the sign she's carrying a little better, because the photo that I use, that large one, is not the best photo I took that you could read the sign, but it's the one where she was genuinely smiling and not just humoring mom for getting pictures on the first day of school. And I can't believe I'm going to have one more year to take her picture on the first day of school in front of this statue, and then no more. And it makes me go, oh my gosh, time is speeding by. I had one of those mom realizations about a week or so ago that my child is now closer to going to closer to going to college than she is from kindergarten. I'm like, how is college closer than kindergarten? Time really flies. So these two papers are also from Field Trip. I am using my centering ruler to find the center mark. It's a 4-inch strip, so that's pretty easy. But I put a dot at the bottom, and then I use that dot and go up an inch. So I just need to cut those two sides to make it into a banner. I really liked this book paper. A lot of it ends up getting covered up. I'm okay with that. You end up only really being able to see what's on the bottom quite clearly. The top ends up with some of the school-themed ephemera on it. And this other one reminds me of science class, learning about conglomerates. Rock geology class, actually, but learning specifically about conglomerate rocks, because it just is like, that's what it reminds me of. I don't know. If you're a science person, you may actually know what that is. And who knows, maybe you know what it is without being a sciencey person. So, got to get my stuff inked using the Tim Holtz Black Soot, which tends to be my go-to. I almost did this with the chipped sapphire, that nice dark blue, but then I decided, no, you know what? I'm just going to keep it simple. And this is where I laugh. So that banner right there, I cut put adhesive on going across the short way. The rock one, I did long ways. I'm like, I don't even know why I did that. Normally, I'm always just the short ways across. But it comes in handy because I end up having to peel up that light blue banner because it ends up being too short having to put those two photos on it. So you see, I placed the bottom one right at the bottom, and then in order to do that, I have to cover up the entire top, and all you see is the bottom of the banner. And I'm like, no, that is not going to work for me. So a little bit of cutting down the middle, and nobody knows because, well, don't tell my secret. But nobody's going to really know that because it's going to be hidden all under pictures. And again, a lot of that paper isn't showing either, but again, I'm okay with that. You get the little hints of it. This is a very busy layout compared to what I normally do, I feel. It's just got a lot of different patterns going on. I've got the stars, I've got the stripes, I've got books, I've got lines, I've got dots, I've got, notebook. I've got everything going on. So having large sections of those two banners where you can't really see it, you just get the hint of the pattern, really works. It lets you know that it's there, but it isn't quite as overwhelming. So I took, again, another scrap that I had laying around that I keep all my scraps of my Chamel stuff. I simply cut it in half and am using it to help cover up the liquid glue that I am using for the circles. I am trying first to use my little adhesive. That's a Nuvo kind. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is it? Nuvo. It's 5 millimeters wide, but it's really great because it's I don't want to say it's dotted, but saying it's diamond doesn't make sense. Instead of dots, they've got diamonds. Anyways, my plan to do the circles on the little blue thing first and then glue it down didn't work. So I went ahead and just like, you know what, let's just glue it down. We do it on the little join where the white star paper meets the red paper. So that way, even if some glue does seep out, it's going to be less noticeable because there's already a change in texture right there. I'm going to repeat the same thing at the bottom. And like I said, the sketch doesn't really have any of that, but I knew I was going to put the date down there and I really wanted to just repeat the design. So now I've got kind of going from the top left down to the bottom right. That's how your eyes would move looking at this, which is the way I like to do it. So, you know, it's good. My glue was like sticking out funky in the bottom there. Like I'm going, what in the world? So get my date stamp because of course I can't remember to get my stamp and my ink ahead of time. It's always like, oh yeah, this is why I keep my date stamps right next to me now and why I keep the ink I use for those stamps also right next to me. Got to ink it a little bit and then it gets glued down. And I go ahead and just decide to use the white glue to get a easy, quick, straight line. That white glue is the art glitter glue and that stuff sticks well. Once the glue dries, here's where I forgot to put I was like, oh yeah, I got to fit in the journaling. But once that art glitter glue dries, to get it up is like, you end up ripping things. I have ripped things more than once. And so I rip it with the intention of, well, clearly I will cover it up. So the journaling about my daughter is covering up the stone post. That is, you can see it to the right of her in the larger photo. So I used these banner dies from Tonic. It's really cool. I showed it very briefly in the beginning, but they have 3 different types of these dies, different shapes. You've got like the triangle, rectangular one, and I don't remember what the third one is. But I wanted to use these triangular ones, and I used, again, same from this field trip paper, I used the composition notebook because I wanted something with some color to it, but I didn't want a lot of pattern. So it's recognizable as that composition notebook, which is very school related. So I put a little bit up at the top and then I trim it down and put it at the bottom. And at this point, I'm looking at it going, what am I forgetting? So I'm trying to remember to check. And at this point, I have done the hand journaling. I've used primary colors. I've used banners. I have completely forgotten to actually put school themed ephemera in there. And I have completely forgotten tiny words. Plus, I have managed to not put a title. How I made it to the embellishing, that's not even a word, embellishing, okay, I'm having a moment. How I made it to the embellishing part of my layout without realizing that I had not done a title is beyond me. Because usually it's background, photo with layers, title, then embellishing, and then you finish it all up with the Nuvo drops. Now, you may have seen me point to something on that sticker sheet a moment ago. That is from Box of Crayons, and it had this really pretty crayon sticker on one of the crayon tops. There was a piece for journaling in the ephemera pack, so I just went ahead and cut the crayons off the top and said, this will work. So there's some of my school ephemera. I have the pencil that I added just to the left of her photo. Now the crayon at the bottom. Plus, you know what? I'm saying the banners with the composition notebook look. Those feel like ephemera too. So I'm going through these field trip stickers and pulling out some of them that would work. Off to the side, oh wait, first at the bottom I do Q. Okay, so I'm either going to include all of these silly mistakes or have to go back and redo all of this. So if you're still listening, I have decided to include all of the silly little mistakes that apparently I'm unable to talk. So the bottom one is black and says cool human. I try to get the blue one that says wonder down there by the pencil and I end up doing learn and happy, which I'm fine with happy because it's an orangey color that is between the pencil and then the orange stars behind it. And then up at the top, I do Big Plans and I do Wonder. Here's where I'm realizing I don't have the dang title, and I'm like, what can I use? And I wanted to do something with 7th grade, but now I am very limited in the amount of space that I have. Normally, this is why I do this earlier. So I pull this Oh Yeah from the field trip phrase stickers. And when I did that, I had that weird gap between the H and the journaling. And so this is where I grab the 7 from the box of crayons sheet. And then I just pull down some of these tiny type stickers from, I don't know where they're from. Webster's Pages, Cosmo Cricket, something like that. They're old. I've had them forever. And I just used them for the first time earlier this week. So I'm like, ooh, let's use these again. So it now says, oh yeah, 7th grade. And my journaling there says 7th grade already. I can't believe how fast this summer went. It was a quiet one for sure, and I forgot the word one. It was a quiet for sure due to COVID-19. Now school is starting as never before with desk shields, masks, and even temperature checks. In the midst of it all, I have no doubt you'll find the fun. Love, Mom. So I have made it to the Nuvo Drops. I am using Red Berry, Ripened Pumpkin, Dandelion Yellow, Woodland Green, and Midnight Blue. All nice, bright school colors that work really well. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I would love if you'd press that subscribe button, hit the bell so you can be notified when I upload and when I go live now on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Join my Facebook group if you would like to, and we have a lot of fun over there. And I'm trying to remember what else I'm supposed to put at the end of these. I'm always forgetting. Oh, comments. Leave me a comment down below. Do you have a kid? Have you done 7th grade? What do you remember about your 7th grade? I started a new school in 7th grade. We had a new middle school built, and I did not like it. I liked the building, but some of the people, not so much. So, anyways, well, I'm finishing up with these Nuvo Drops and getting in the last color. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And like I said, subscribe and hit the bell, and I will see you guys later. I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye!